Now, during the pandemic, many schools and colleges waived standardized testing. Since students couldn't access SAT and ACT testing centers, over 600 colleges made the test optional during the 2020 to 2021 school year. Teachers and advocates argued that it simply wasn't fair to subject students to testing during a time when the entire education system was disrupted. And this begs the question, were these standardized tests ever really necessary? As schools weigh whether to go back to standardized testing, the ongoing debate about the racial biases of these assessments and the effects that they have on students of color's access to higher education, as well as their life outcomes, have been brought to the forefront. Joining me now is David Hinojosa, Director of the Educational Opportunities Project at the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights. David, thank you so much for stopping by Amplified to talk about this. The College Board, funny enough, argues that it is society that is unfair and not the actual SAT. Is it societal inequalities that account for the race gap in standardized testing, or is the test inherently biased?
Well, thank you, Aisha. I think it's actually a little bit of both. So when you look at the history of the SAT and how it was created, according to historians, it was created by eugenicist Carl Brigham, who was using this testing method that he had adopted and trying to tell the difference actually between Anglo populations in the Nordic region of Europe compared to other Europeans. And so that testing method was there in the beginning of the SAT. And then as you walk forward today, there are still questions that are considered. And if minority students who may not perform very well on these tests, if they answer those test questions that are put out in the field correctly, but white students who perform better don't answer those test questions as well, then they might kick those out. And on top of that, there's also been researchers who have looked at the questions themselves and found that up to 12% of the test questions are biased against Black students and 10% against Latinx students. And so that's as far as, the biases that are built into the system. But then when you look at, society itself, yes, there is, access to test prep is very uneven between wealthier and poorer families. Access to coursework. I remember a friend of mine in college was talking about his more well-to-do high school that he had went to compared to the one that I went to. And he was saying that they had an actual SAT class that they took the whole year to prepare for the SAT. And I think I took a weekend class that jumped my score about 20 points. But that was about it. So there are some inequalities in society, but you cannot ignore the biasness of these tests.
Well, I want to go back to something that you just said. I don't want to gloss over this for those who are listening. You just shared with us that the test itself was created by a known eugenicist, right? So this guy who studies eugenics, and for those who don't understand eugenics, it's essentially the study of racial hierarchy, right? Like, how do we create a society and blend people or create reproduction among humans that actually creates a master race? I mean, if we really want to get into the murk of how, problematic the theory of eugenics is, that's who created this test. So I wonder, why does the education system still cling to these tests when we know that high school performance is much more predictive of a student's future success? And we know that the test in and of itself was created to essentially create a hierarchy in our society that excludes a whole lot of minds.
Yeah, so the College Board itself, which administers the test, has distanced itself away from its history. It's reformed the way that it tests. And so it suggests that today, that type of inherent discrimination and racism, frankly, doesn't exist anymore in the creation of the test. But again, as we see about how test questions are formulated, how field questions are tested out there and then adopted and interwoven into the system, we still see these problem areas. But so part of the reason why we continue to use them is, one, it's ignorance, because admissions officers and some folks in academia don't understand, the history behind these. Two, they don't understand exactly how poor of a predictor it is, especially when you compare it to high school grades, like you mentioned, and GPAs. But they also are just in a comfort zone. So they're like, well, if we don't use this, if we don't use SAT scores or ACT scores that are standardized so they're neutral and we can tell the difference between students' readiness for college, then what do we use? And frankly, in a college application, for those of you who have been filling out those college applications, I'm just helping my son, who's a senior this year, fill out a college application. There's a lot of information in that portfolio that they can glean and see what kind of talent a student has. It just takes a little bit more work. And we know this from the UC system itself, which is no longer allowed to use the SAT scores.
Well, I want to talk about this because I want to talk about why it's standardized in this way and the College Board. So, you just named a couple of reasons why it's still in use. I have one that I think is a little bit more nefarious. When the University of California system announced that it might drop standardized testing, the College Board, and I want you to explain to us who exactly the College Board is, the College Board negotiated and the university kept it in place, demonstrating the power of that industry, which is estimated to be worth between $400 and $700 million. Now, there's actually a lawsuit against the University of California demanding that they drop the tests on the basis that it violates the anti-discrimination statute, et cetera. Maybe they're not using it anymore, like you said. But I really just want to kind of put a fine point on the fact that this is an industry that makes a whole lot of money. It's like a $500 million testing industry. Who is the College Board and why do we care?
The College Board is a quote-unquote nonprofit, a multi-million-dollar nonprofit that is constructed of a number of different administrators who have various experience levels. They also have testing experts who are part of the College Board. And they're the ones who end up setting these standards in place. They're the ones who end up putting out, these tests every year and also assist, with various pieces to the application. But what's real interesting about this is that they also, will sell some of their data. So according to some researchers that we're working with, not only is this impacting admissions, but even before admissions, it impacts recruitment. So certain colleges will ask for data based on SAT scores above a certain region, and they're targeting very wealthy or exclusive areas, both within state and out of state. And so they're already excluding students from even being recruited in the first place.
I have like 45 seconds left, and I want you to address this. African-American males especially are disproportionately placed in special education, often based on these test results. So beyond capping their success, this can also lead to a self-defeating prophecy where they believe that they are less intelligent, even though it's the tests that are rigged. Can you speak to us about some of the mental health consequences and ramifications of these tests?
Yeah, I think that it's entirely self-defeating when you already have a test and you have so much stress being engaged in trying to prepare, for that test. But then when they have certain consequences on your own academic performance, even aside from the test consequences themselves and how they're impacting students' own mental health, it's a critical area that is often ignored, frankly, by both the College Board and others. And I think, abandoning these tests is where we need to get, and not just for those, Black students, but for, all students, for not just their academic, but also for their mental health, as you mentioned.
All right, David Hinojosa, thank you so much again for joining me to talk about standardized tests and why, in your perspective, we need to abandon them. I agree with you. Appreciate you.